Greetings. Okay. All right, continue on UFO disclosure. This time we Antarctica. Hopefully that's spelled right. Antarctica, human trafficking, and connected to Lyra. So let's see where this. Yeah, just connected to basically the uh, alien disclosure energies, what can be brought in. Just on a spiritual level, what can be tapped into, what can be released, things like that. And then going to Antarctica. Lyra has been speaking of, yeah, I've been doing, I was going to do the canines one of these days, but I do connect to Sirius every now and then. But that's kind of canine. Not really, but sort of. It's like the fake version of it. Or let the cats see what they gotta say. Alright, I've been talking to comment private sessions. Shop here. I'm on, I think, the 7th. Some people, but not everybody. Some I'm on the 4th, some on still on the 1st. Same situation here. You have webinar sign up, social network, Rabbit, behind the scenes, and dating site. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, connect to alien disclosure vibrations, basically timeline energies, and see what comes through with that. So, okay, Antarctica kind of the Antarctica every now and then. So, okay, blessings. Greetings to you. We are the Arcturians. Yes, for human or aliens or human disclosure. Alien disclosure. As you combine the vibrations together of human and alien energies, opening up portals, dimensions for human and alien energy to combine. Basically, it's opening up realities in your heart chakra, your crown chakra, healing those blockages. It's all about a blockage, basically. Yes, there's a government energy there, but it's also allowing timelines for human healing. It's just yes, I believe your Apple, your company now has more higher vibrational computers. They're a little bit more lit up with color, and that shows that you're shifting vibrational levels. So, in other things too, cars become a lot more brighter. People will start dyeing their hair more brighter. Doesn't mean everybody has to do so. And painting your homes might become more brighter also. It just heightens the vibrations of the planet. So yes, it's become a little bit strange for others, for some that are used to the old Earth, but the new Earth is basically kind of redoing your landscape altogether on your world. So there are timelines that have been blocked here. And many humans here have blocked them for alien contact, not necessarily government, but also, some of you, there have been people incarnated in your past that are here to bring that vibration in. Either got blocked or shut it down completely. So this is a new age of basically bringing the aliens in a little bit closer, and who knows where human and alien contact is truly. It's just a gradual process of letting the third dimensional infrastructure to come down. Not too strenuous, but for the human element to truly, the spiritual side to come in. You'll still be in a physical form. Some might not feel that way. But you feel like just the third, and many of you, I believe, out there, yes, are already connecting to, you already have the dreams, you already have the astral vibrations, but there's a blockage there of why the third dimension is still, why aren't the alien, I mean, you feel the aliens here, but the idea is to allow more of that timeline to connect with the human and bring the human from the physical to somewhat of the non-physical to a certain level. Basically, as healing the stress of the earth. So yeah, it's not even to name names of why the world had gone through what it went through what it had to do. I mean, you'd be surprised how many. It's like humanity can evolve, but then there's one person here that doesn't want to evolve, so the rest of the world waits. Try being that person. Literally, there is one person. I don't believe they're listening to this communication. You'd be surprised how it's significant, but how minor a one per being can be. You are Earth Collective. You don't want to let anyone behind. Of course, there's many that are holding back. Of course, well, it's the energies get stronger with blockages. Well, you get used to it. You get used to this environment. But so many of you are opening up more of your hard energies. You're remembering more, and that's going to continue. And there's a possibility of alien energies of dreams coming where, I mean, many of you already had alien contact would actually happen. And most likely those scenarios will continue. It's not going to be the world having the dream, it would just be certain individuals. So there's not really a set date for any contact, basically. I mean, there is, but not going to be revealed here to a certain extent. There's never really one time. But I believe many of you, it's activations. It's allowing that timeline to come in to overcome the hurdles of it to some form or another. I guess an alien presence around you, like a ship sighting, where it's taken more seriously by your timeline instead of laughed at or looked upon. At least there's a question about it, at least in your media, at least they're talking about it. It might be a military, and it doesn't really matter. It's still showing that there's an alien vibration coming in. It's different what you're used to talking to. And they're trying to figure out a way of bringing that more into your environment anyway. Well, they also, say what you want about your military and the black ops and all that. They do want to bring in more technologies here, just actually to help humanity. Some, maybe not so much, but others do. Half of it or part of it wants to. They're hesitant, and it can be a little bit too advanced to be too frightening for people. So there is a good side there. It's not all horrible. It's not just all nightmares and mirrors and things like that. It's like sometimes it can be too much of a good thing. How do you bring a good thing into an environment where it's actually handled well? That's not always the easiest. That's not always the easiest answer. I mean, can you bring something, introduce a new technology to the Earth that actually helps humanity evolve, where it's just not causing like the end of humanity? Not that I would do that, but it's also the timing for it. So it's just good to be open to all things. Of course, your Antarctica, would that consciousness has a message of its own. Let's see. Greetings to you. Greetings, I am the consciousness of Antarctica. Yes, of course, there's many mysteries. I am your past. You are the future. The past has kept itself quiet for some time. Eventually, yes, much of your continents will shift around and change. Not at the moment, though. There's still a lot of that's growing up to do. Well, eventually, your human selves, your average people will be allowed in Antarctica more often, in more areas instead of just you can rather be having this one spot and that's it. Eventually, become anywhere as long as you can survive it. Of course, so it's like a forest, like a icy forest. yeah, it's not exactly the most comforting. I don't believe you're going to see Bigfoot there. Not likely. Maybe an ice being, yes, possibly. It is a place of hallucinations, just to let you know. Even in a forest, you can have a lot of hallucinations. Doesn't mean Antarctica is going to, start to melt anytime soon. There's still a lot of, yeah, eventually, yes. Well, eventually, much of your continents have to be moved for Earth to really shift into its new vibrational state of mind. But the human element has to be ready to more mentally prepared for it than it is today. And those are, yes, steps, levels that you're kind of going through now, but not officially. What is this fear energy of worry? Whereas you're healing a lot of your elite energies, your controllers, you're eventually going to be kicking them out. Eventually. I mean, they're warning from you too. You're warning from each other. Some of you pat them on the head sometimes. You did, yeah, you did a good job. I mean, you learn a great deal from them. Of course, it's both ways, and they don't like to admit what they learn from humanity. Well, some of you are actually saving their souls. Their souls are getting lost in their own corruption. You can say that's happening in your presidential situation, you can say. Saving another soul. Sometimes it takes a village, yes, a village to raise a child, and you kind of have that in your presidential situation, at least in the United States. I mean, talk about a soul has sold itself out many times over, and showing it has a lot of problems it has to heal. So it's getting a lot of attention, unwanted attention, and it's part of disclosure, but it's more than that. It's like some of these criminal souls that are here that have been in your government won't be able to hide themselves forever. I mean, their war crimes will have to become more known for this ascension to fully go into its next level. Or humanity has to allow that because many would just say, no, we don't want to know. Not majority. Well, a majority. I mean, many, it's not always a majority. Some are just, the timelines of awakening can be very difficult. And so you wait. There's a lot of waiting here, as you can probably see. Well, I believe a lot of that will come to an end. Doesn't mean you're going to have a disclosure of everything of human trafficking. Obviously, that's a wound within the planet itself for many alien beings. Well, they brought a lot of their own people here and trafficked their own energies here through their own groups. Some of them felt like that was the best way. This eventually that'll become more clear. It's not always going to. We feel like also your fourth dimension becomes more fourth dimensionally clear. Meaning these beings will become all this all these things that are hidden become slightly more of a mirage. Right now it's mostly hidden, but we become more clear in your third eye. Just something, not everything wants to be seen here. Alien ships don't always want to be seen here. But some of you are going to tap into them. It's like, oh, there you are. And a lot of them are, yeah, it's quote, alien ships are most likely start to be seen on your planet. So some of you can tune in their vibrations, like, you know what, it's time for everyone to see you. Expect more of that. Was it your Mount Adams? Yes, more of that. Mount Adams and the Yeseti will become more of other places, not just there, where you have alien connections. More of that. Even yes, well, of course, Antarctica has quite a few, but you're not gonna hear about that one too much. The more mountain areas are going to start to activate more. Not recently or soon. Well, it's not making itself clear when it'll do so. Yeah, there's a lot of hesitation for growth here, or at least for disclosure, as some of you might have noticed. Yeah, you're waiting for alien disclosure and it's buried for 30, 40 years or forever in some cases. And that's where your energy fields begin to shift. Well, it's time for the human to allow this more to occur. You'd be surprised how sometimes it's like one person here can actually allow it to happen, and they don't always know it's them. So there's that going on too. It's like, is there one person here that can actually trigger disclosure here? and not your note. We're gonna leave that one out there for you. Because some of it might tap into like, you know what, I think I might know who this person is. So, there's a lot of wounds that needs to be healed here. Well, some of you are hesitant to allow disclosure to occur here due to the childishness of this planet, which is a lot of it. Well, that's normal for a world that's forgot itself. It's just when it starts remembering itself, a lot of your archaeologists are going to have eventually a very busy year disclosing many things. They thought they found everything and found nothing. Well, this year it's going to be finding a great deal, not just in Egypt, all across the world, and I mean making it more public too, slowly. And yes, of course, they'll find a great deal in Egypt, and your average people are not even paying attention to it. But at least eventually that's going to be healed, where the average human will start to take more notice. Well, they've been programmed to be an average person, you could say. Sometimes it's better off just not knowing anything about the world. Just focus on yourself. What is happening? But some will become more focused, and all of a sudden they're not caring about anything, in the world, which is fine, which is not a bad thing. But all of a sudden they care about Egypt, or they all of a sudden they care about Antarctica. All of a sudden they care about Argentina. It's just out of nowhere, it just calls to them. And that's when just then that's part of the unveiling of the planet itself. The planet's having trouble releasing a lot of its karma. So the reason why disclosure has not occurred is it has dealing with a lot of problems that it brought onto itself. To the human collective, the planet collective, through other planets. Also, other planets are hard on this world. That's true. Saturn. The Saturn kind of kicks this planet around. Well, almost thinks it's boss of this world. That's another reason it's like you don't belong. You're not allowed to have any of these things. You're not allowed to have disclosure. You have to clean up your mess first. And that's true. But there should be some, you know, ease there somewhere. Ask Pluto for assistance. Sometimes Jupiter is doing a lot of cleaning in your solar system. It's just that people are getting tired of themselves or their existence here. Of course, they get distractions that helps them find fulfillment that can only last so long. That many souls here are going to have a rebirth of basically wanting to do something else with their lives. As once this veil lifts off the planet, forgetfulness, invention will be part of society. Just new, all of a sudden, people are connected to diamond energies, or even to bring that vibration too, like it'll appear around within their hand, things like that. They just have things appear around them, or they'll know somebody instantly to. It's like that's the energy they need to be to heighten their vibration. So quick manifestation will. It's already happening slowly, but eventually it'll happen quicker. So, and these things do take time, of course. But just basically, as the star seeds are tapped into the Earth's vibration, what do they want? Do they want some kind of disclosure? Are they just all talk and no play? Some of them are. But there are people here to actually trigger a disclosure. Always be more careful of it, or become more aware of the governments you're connected to. There is a disclosure group here that probably doesn't know that they're even part of it. Obviously, some are going to say they're part of it, they're actually not part of it at all, but that's normal. They can still tap into the vibrations of it. So, like a disclosure council, you can say. Blessings. Greetings, we are the Lyrans. We are, yes, the felines. We're also connected to the foundations of the human, the five-fingered human. Usually it used to be the four-fingered human. A lot of the Zetas prefer three fingers because they have no use for four fingers or five fingers. Of course, many have become more accustomed to the five fingers because of the human element. Even sculpting the current human took a long time, as what, of course, is always perfection that is necessary. But what part of why the human even exists, part of it, is a lot of alien beings, feline, the canines, the bunnies, and so forth. Well, I feel like there's more to their experience. It's like there's something missing. It's like we can go further. I mean, yes, some felines felt that it was like we're going to be extinct, and that was partly true. Some species felt that they're going to be extinct. Some of them actually created that for themselves, and they continued in the human form. But the humanoid energy was basically for your version of human. Yes, was like the next generation of existence. Oh, in some ways, it's like worlds. It's like an empty gap within ourselves. It's like another form where we can learn without basically a disconnect from any type of animal form. You don't have a face for a feline. Of course, some of you look like felines, some of you look like snake people, some of you look like canines, and on and on. Some of you look like horses. We're not going to go into that. So, yeah, it's basically an alien being in disguise. I mean, of course, the soul has soul signature. The body is going to form into what you're mostly connected to. It's just the way it is. For alien contact, a lot of feline beings, we failed alien contact. Even our own planets, our own worlds have been shut down. We actually have worlds we shut down deliberately because they can't get their act together. And some never ever did, but they seem to be fine where they are. But some in your planet also is going through that too. It shut itself down, and reactivating itself is a little bit more difficult. It's a gradual process, of course. I feel like your Antarctica is going to activate more. Also, we're going to see colors, different types of colors that be more known, even in areas of Norway. But Antarctica will light up and give an idea where things are going. Pinks, greens in the skies. Your human trafficking element, yes, there's a lot of it's illness within many species, even the human species. It's also like a death within every race has alien race, any type of race has kind of like a dark side. Doesn't mean it has to be trafficking of a being, but in your world's case, it is. I mean, some beings have black dragons, dark energies that it just can't seem to clear. Of course, you don't have a dragon walking around. Well, you don't see it, but of course, a lot of dragon beings are known to manipulate society and not be seen. You don't have no human trafficking, you just have dragon energies that are very forcing their ideas on the people, where you're being mind controlled by very powerful beings. In some ways, you're having that here to a certain extent, but nothing like a lot of the human trafficking element is basically a part of humanity that is having trouble healing on this planet. It's like the root chakra of humanity on this world has not fully healed. Of course not. Of humans themselves, human consciousness. Doesn't mean you have to know everything that's happening here, but just healing like darkness here. You're having racial issues here. You're having this virus situation. The political climate is, yes, an infection all in itself. An infection and that root chakra, even the political belt, the root chakra of the politics is very rotten within itself. Well, a lot of those souls are not healing. They're not even going forward. Most of them are going backwards. Most of them are here to descend the planet and be well paid for to do so. So if more of that descension energy becomes more clear, who's here to actually put the world backwards? And you see many politicians are here to do that. Guess who's what where a lot of healing will go. So it's up to humanity for that type of healing. Because some politicians are here to help, but a lot of them are not here. They're here to keep it in third dimension, keep things going backwards. You probably feel some of that. Not all politicians, but quite a few. So, that energy is not the easiest. But human traffic vibrations basically is darkness, ancient wizardry. Yeah, ancient wizardry that's keeping human trafficking hidden here. It's like a spell. That's probably a very powerful spell. One that is, a lot of bars, a lot of protections around it. Well, it's weakening the Earth's energy, as you can see, while you're not having this ascension as fast as you'd like it to. There's another element, another entity here that likes to speak. So, greetings to you. We are the Dobermans from Sirius. We are the canine energies. A lot of us are here to protect the planet. Of course, you're for canine. Well, canine and human is basically alien and human to realize you can get along with each other. If you visualize your canine people as people, some of them might be the best people you ever met. Well, that shows your animals are higher vibrational beings, basically. They're in animal form. They're simple here, but you need that simplicity to heal their complex archon environment. We have many contracts with the lower realms, as you probably noticed. And the animals are here. They have to come here simple. If you have an animal that comes here and starts doing your taxes, I'm not sure if that's going to help you heighten your vibration. Animals are here to shift the vibrations, not to make it worse. Of course, there are some pit bulls and beings that have been messed up mentally, where they're very aggressive. Some of your pit bulls are like the reptilian of canines, probably to the extreme, where a lot of them just aren't thinking right. Because some of the pit bulls see entities, and that's why they bite people out of nowhere. They see something and they grab it. So, and then they end up biting somebody in the face or something terrible. Not all canines are like that, but some canines have a sick DNA process. Their DNA and they're just not thinking correctly. And it has to have the right type of owner to protect them and heal that energy, which is rare. It does happen, but it's rare. So basically, I digress. But your animals here are coming from fourth, fifth dimensional beings. Usually, sometimes the simpler, the higher vibration it is, and they're just basically a shift of vibrations for you to go into direction. That's why some people need to have 10 cats or 7 cats. It's just especially when you have a lot of blockages. Especially, it depends on what you're here to do, of course. Obviously, having 10 cats or 10 of anything is not more power to it on that one. Then it becomes a job. And then instead of them healing you, you're healing them. So, of course, you are healing them to a certain extent, but usually the animals are there to heal you mostly. I mean, yes, they learn from you, they learn from your mannerisms, they learn how to be human, they learn how to, they learn from emotions here. So, I mean, this is like the best training place ever for depression. Canine beings, they want to be human, actually. I mean, some of them really act like humans. They really want to drive the car. They want to fix the car. They want to do all those things. They can't do it. They want to do public speaking, things like that. So they want to be the the can or the canine of the household. I mean, literally, like, wearing clothes and things like that. I mean, if you only knew. I mean, walking on four legs is great and everything, but some of them do want to evolve to actually being a person on your planet. And there's a possibility of that happening someday. That's up to you. So send you energies, blessings.